Hello everyone and welcome to my review for Kengan Omega Chapter 73. Now, you may have noticed I didn't do a review last week for Chapter 72, and that was simply because there just wasn't really much of anything to talk about. I mean, it was a 15-page chapter, and a lot of the pages were just art with not very much content. We got very good art for the start of the fight. We got a cool bro moment between Koga and Gao, and then you had Julius punching Toa in the stomach. That was basically everything that happened last week. So I didn't feel like there was really much there for me to make a video on. This week is quite the opposite, because we have some very huge implications from this chapter, which is Toa Muto using techniques that are essentially identical to the water and redirection katas from the Niko style, which is huge. Whenever in Omega there was someone that used the Niko style, when you had Kiryu using it, and Fang, and then Kuroki using something similar to bone binding and doing it. Whenever there's someone that knows the Niko style, everyone's like, oh, holy fuck, what's going on? Because it's the win button, basically. If you know the Niko style, you're going to win, essentially. Unless you're going up against Kuroki, because the Kaiwan style is the only thing more win buttony than the Niko style. So we have to wonder, how did Toa Muto learn this? And Yamashita himself wonders if it's possible that Muto is part of the worm, which I definitely think is very possible. We'd always assumed that there was going to be someone related to the worm in Purgatory, on the Purgatory team. But it's also possible that Toa is the Tiger's vessel. We've been waiting around to see who that may be. And if it really is him, then Julius is kind of fucked, because he's already getting his ass kicked by redirection kata. If Toa pulls out, the advance, it's fucking over. I don't know what you want me to tell you. This is nuts. Something about martial arts manga, is that in the real world, these giant, huge guys would be the strongest person ever. That's just how it works. When you go into a martial arts series, you have, these smaller but buff guys that use godlike martial arts, and that just lets them beat everyone. We see that with Kuroki. And when you look at the huge people like Julius, you're like, hey, you are already superhuman. If you learned martial arts, you would literally be unstoppable. And we see that with Toa, which I like. It's always very nice when the super huge beefhead guy is not just me strong, punch things good. So this is refreshing. Now, we have to wonder, where did he learn these techniques from? So, one of them could be the worm, with Tiger Niko. Another could be him learning it in some other way. I mean, who knows? Because it's possible that Tiger Niko had students other than Kiryu and Kano. Isn't it heavily implied that Kano learned from him? I don't remember everything from Ashura. But that's a possibility. It's also possible that this is not actually the Niko style, and it's just something very similar, because as we learn in Toa's backstory, he is pretty much the protector of his land in New Zealand. The Fiordland National Park, its terrain was shaped by erosion from glaciers and this man, and he's a seeker, and he's part of a Maori tribe, which is very interesting. As soon as we saw Toa with the tattoos, we were like, oh man, we're gonna get some sick indigenous shit out of this guy. So I saw a theory on Reddit that maybe it was something he learned from, swimming between the islands or whatever and having to redirect force going against the current, which I think is plausible. It would certainly be a surprise if it was just something similar to the Niko style, because with how useful it is, you would think that there would have been other people that had come up with something similar to it. Oh, right, you also have to consider that Gao Mukaku may have trained more people other than Niko. So there may have been other students of the Niko style that went out into the world and taught people. Um, so we'll have to see where that goes. Now, this chapter ends on a not great note for Julius, with him getting knocked out pretty much. He's down, and they're counting. Um, Now, we haven't really seen something quite like this, other than with when he fought Wakatsuki. So it seems like Toa is finally we have a top tier fighter from Purgatory. Because you have to be top tier to do this shit to Julius. That's just how it works. Now, Toa says that Julius's burden is nowhere near as heavy as his, and that Julius is no warrior. So we're definitely going to get more backstory stuff out of Toa next chapter. And you have to wonder what burden he's carrying. It may be something to do with the worm. We know those guys are pretty ruthless with all of their agents killing themselves when they got caught by Oma and Ryan. Also a possibility that Toyota may have some sort of what's the word I'm looking for here? Leverage over him. I assume as a Maori, New Zealand and the land there is very important to Toa, and since Toyota seems to have basically more power than God. Is he Toyota? They call him Mr. Itamatsu. I can't remember his fucking name for the life of me for some reason right now, so I'm gonna call him Itamatsu now. Now, since Itamatsu has, for lack of better terms, more money than God and a lot of ambition, it's very possible that he has some sort of industrial business plans to build something wherever Toa lives, and him participating in Purgatory is part of a deal to, like, not do that or something. So that may be the burden that he has to carry, especially since he's the descendant of someone who was like a leader for the Maori people. Now, thinking about what's going to happen next chapter, we're likely going to get more Toa backstory because they didn't really go beyond the very surface level stuff this chapter. But we're also going to probably see a little bit of a comeback from Julius because he's down for the count right now. He needs to get up. He has 4 seconds. And I don't think Julius is going to lose. Like, if you have 3 in a row, it's like, come on now. You're killing the tension here. Like, even if they are going to have Kengan lose the tournament, you at least need to have tension. So Kengan has to get some wins so that we don't resign ourselves within the first 3 rounds. Well, shit. Looks like we're just going to lose all of them. That would be boring. So I assume they're not going to do that, and we're going to see what Julius has up his sleeve. Maybe it is tactics, because didn't he say he learned something that surpasses technique? And Wakatsuki technically didn't use technique when he beat him. He used tactics. So who knows? Maybe Julius will find a way to kick Toa in the face or something. Well, we'll just have to find out. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I do Kengan Omega reviews every week. If you enjoy discussing Kengan Omega with other people, you should check out my Discord server. I'll have a link in the description below. If you enjoy other series such as Record of Ragnarok, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen, Solo Leveling, and Bleach, I do videos on those series as well. So check out my channel and check out my Discord server if you like talking about those with other people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.